the king and his priests and courtiers march through the great colonnade to the cadence of mock funerary drums and chants. The colonnade is reminiscent of reports made by those who have known a near-death experience. Entering a long passage or tunnel at the end of which one enters inner life. Subtly narrowing columns provide a sense of contraction, and the visual experience of passing through a narrow passage, such as a birth canal, or the entrance to one's inner life. The nomarchs present the offerings from their precincts at the shrines of the gnome spirits during this mystic process to invoke the celestial powers to bring life, stability, and health to Pharaoh and the land. During this time, the king belongs to the Neteru, but he emerges symbolically renewed into the great court after traveling with the sun through the dark hours. As the king approaches the small southern chamber in the great court, he dons a robe that emulates a placental shroud, and he is confirmed in a small enclosure of the southern chamber to incubate his new life. When the infant is still inert, the traditional Sitam funeral priest immediately performs the opening of the mouth ceremony, which imparts the functions of speech and feeding to the newborn king. The king of the two lands, clothed in the innocence of his new life, completes a symbolic circuit of the two lands to reclaim its precincts as his own and to unify them. Circumnavigating the precinct 4 times is described as a ritual dance rather than a jog. Several symbolic objects are shown in inscriptions of Heb-Sed ceremonies. Vases of Nile water, the royal flail of Lower Egypt, the great oar of a Nile's vessel, and the mysterious hepet, an instrument that closely resembles the Masonic square. The festival moves east of the precinct and into the Heb-Sed court as the first sliver of the new moon appears in the sky. In the robing room, the king assumes the new regalia and ascends the double thrones before the court of gnome spirits, where he is crowned 4 times after honoring the 4 winds at each corner of the dais. It is followed by an elaborate ceremony of offering by representatives from all the gnomes in Egypt. It may have taken many days to complete. After an elaborate reception of the nomarch by the king, bounty from every region was presented. A very significant offering concluded the ceremony, the presentation of palm leaves, which symbolized in hieroglyphic form millions of years, an endowment intended to give the royal Ka lasting endurance. The king was crowned by the gnome officials at each shrine in the court after these formalities. Each of these crowns represents the religious divisions of Egypt and the heavenly powers of the Neteru joining forces on the king's forehead. Djoser's participation in the Heb-Sed represents the continuation of the divine cycle inaugurated by Neteru's presence in Egypt. A celebration there exemplifies the prototypical cycle of human experience through the king's interment and renewal, his endurance test, the acquisition of power from the land regions, and the symbolic reception of divine favor as he is crowned. Djoser's House of Eternity fulfills the spiritual mandate of this temple, which is to transform the human element into an imperishable, life-giving principle.